For the first time in over 50 years, humans are heading back to the moon. NASA's Artemis II mission marks a historic step not just for America, but for all of humanity. Slated for launch in 2025, Artemis II will be the first crewed mission in the Artemis program, and the first time humans will travel beyond low Earth orbit since the Apollo 17 mission in 1972. The name Artemis isn't random, it's symbolic. In Greek mythology, Artemis is the twin sister of Apollo. And now, fittingly, Artemis picks up where the Apollo missions left off, but with far bigger ambitions. Artemis II is the second mission in the Artemis program, but it's the first to carry astronauts aboard NASA's most powerful rocket ever, the Space Launch System, or SLS. Standing 322 feet tall, the SLS is taller than the Statue of Liberty and delivers over 8.8 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. That's more than the legendary Saturn V rocket used in the Apollo missions. The mission will also use the Orion spacecraft, NASA's next-gen crew capsule designed for deep space travel. Orion is equipped with advanced life support, state-of-the-art heat shielding, and redundant safety systems built for long-duration missions beyond Earth. Now, let's talk about the crew. Artemis II will carry 4 astronauts, 3 Americans and 1 Canadian. This will be the first time a Canadian astronaut has traveled this far into space, making it a milestone for international collaboration. The crew members are Reed Wiseman, the mission commander, a U.S. Navy pilot and NASA veteran; Victor Glover, pilot and the first person of color to be part of a deep space mission; Christina Koch, mission specialist and the first woman to fly on a lunar mission; and Jeremy Hansen, a Canadian Space Agency astronaut and the first non-American to go this deep into space. Their mission won to land on the moon, but it will fly farther than any human spaceflight in decades. Artemis II is set to orbit the moon, performing a hybrid free return trajectory, meaning the spacecraft will loop around the moon and use lunar gravity to sling itself back to Earth. The mission duration will be approximately 10 days, during which the astronauts will test critical life support systems, navigation, communications, and safety procedures aboard Orion. This dress rehearsal is vital. Before we can land humans on the moon again in Artemis III, we need to make absolutely sure everything works flawlessly, because deep space has no margin for error. The importance of Artemis II goes beyond technical validation. It's a public demonstration. NASA is back in the moon game, but this time with global partnerships and private companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Lockheed Martin playing key roles. One of the most exciting aspects? NASA's ultimate goal isn't just to revisit the moon. It's to build a sustainable presence there with a long-term lunar base called Artemis Base Camp and a planned lunar space station named Gateway. Artemis II is the first human step toward that future. The moon is not the final destination. It's the testing ground for something even bigger. NASA's long-term vision includes sending astronauts to Mars in the 2030s. And to do that, we need to learn how to live, work, and survive beyond Earth, starting with the moon. So why now? Why return to the moon after half a century? Because the stakes have changed. The moon holds scientific mysteries, like water ice in its permanently shadowed craters, or clues to the early solar system preserved in its untouched regolith. There are also geopolitical reasons. The US, China, Russia, and other nations are racing to stake claims and demonstrate capabilities in space. Artemis II is part of a broader plan to ensure peaceful exploration and leadership in a rapidly changing space race. Here's a fun fact. Artemis II will travel around 600,000 kilometers from Earth. That's farther than any human-rated spacecraft has gone, surpassing even the farthest distance reached during the Apollo missions. And how about speed? Orion will re-enter Earth's atmosphere at over 24,500 miles per hour, creating temperatures near 50 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than lava. To survive that, Orion's heat shield, the largest of its kind, is made of reinforced carbon ablator material designed to vaporize and absorb intense heat. The crew will splash down in the Pacific Ocean, just like Apollo, but with modern tech for recovery. Now, let's talk tech. Artemis II will carry advanced sensors, real-time health monitoring systems, AI-assisted navigation, and upgraded radiation shielding. Every piece of data collected will guide Artemis III, the mission that will land astronauts, including the first woman and first person of color, on the lunar surface. This mission is also a step toward commercialization. NASA is working with commercial partners under the Artemis Accords, a framework of over 30 countries cooperating on lunar exploration, mining rights, and space ethics. Private companies are building lunar landers, spacesuits, communication systems, and even lunar rovers for future missions. And here's the wild part. NASA is planning to send astronauts to the lunar South Pole, a region no human has ever explored. Why? Because that's where frozen water is believed to exist, possibly enough to support future life and fuel production for Mars missions. Artemis II doesn't land there, but it paves the road directly to it. Public excitement is growing. Artemis I, the uncrewed test flight, successfully orbited the Moon in late 2022, reaching over 450,000 kilometers from Earth and proving the reliability of SLS and Orion. That mission captured stunning HD footage of Earth and the Moon, like never before, rekindling global interest in space exploration. Now, Artemis II will put real human eyes back on the Moon, and the world will be watching. We're entering a new space age, one where space isn't just for astronauts and engineers, but for everyone: students, scientists, artists, and dreamers. The Artemis program is not just about going back, it's about going forward. The countdown to launch is on. Artemis II is humanity's next great adventure, and it's only the beginning.